Nobody wakes up and decides to stay broke. There's no moment where you choose it. It happens quietly, one normal feeling decision at a time. Decisions that don't feel like mistakes because everyone around you is making the exact same ones. Today, I'm showing you 7 habits that keep smart, hardworking Americans broke. And the wild part is, none of them feel like bad decisions in the moment. They feel responsible. They feel normal. That's exactly why they're so dangerous. I'm Sam, and I spend most of my time studying why 2 people with the same paycheck end up in completely different financial places 10 years later. It's rarely about how much they earn. It's about a handful of invisible habits. And once you see them, you can't unsee them in your own life. If any of these 7 hit close to home, stick around, because number 7 is the one almost nobody talks about, and it's usually the real reason people stay stuck. Hit subscribe if this kind of breakdown is useful to you. The first habit is small, but it compounds fast. You round your spending up, not down. It's basically $20. It's basically $500 a month. It's basically free after the discount. That word, basically, is doing a lot of damage. Let's put 2 people side by side. Maya takes home $4,200 a month after taxes. Tyler takes home the same $4,200. Maya rounds down. A $47 dinner is under $50. A $980 rent payment is under $1,000. She's not depriving herself. She's just never letting herself round in the direction that makes overspending feel smaller than it is. Tyler rounds up the same way with confidence. A $38 impulse buy on Amazon is basically nothing. A $600 flight is basically a steal. Every purchase gets mentally shrunk before it happens. Over a year, Maya's rounding down habit alone saves her roughly $1,800 she didn't even notice disappearing. Tyler's rounding up habit costs him about the same amount, money he genuinely believes he never spent. Same take-home pay, same lifestyle on paper, one mental habit, completely different outcome. Second habit, you confuse a discount with an actual gain. This one is sneaky because it's dressed up as smart shopping. You see 40% off during a Black Friday sale, and your brain registers it as income, not as spending. But you didn't make $40, you spent $60. Maya sees a jacket march down from $150 to $90. She asks one question first. Would I have bought this at $90 if it had never been $150? If the answer is no, she walks away, because a discount on something she didn't need is still money leaving her checking account. Tyler sees the same jacket and thinks, I'm saving $60. He buys it. Multiply that across a year of deals, sales, Prime Day, buy one get one, and Tyler can spend an extra $2,000 to $3,000 annually on things he only bought because they felt like savings. The math is brutal here. A discount only saves you money on something you were already going to buy. Everything else is just spending with better marketing. Third habit, you save whatever's left at the end of the month instead of paying yourself first. This feels responsible. It sounds like, I'll save what I can. But what's left has a habit of being zero, because spending expands to fill whatever space it's given. Tyler gets paid every 2 weeks, covers rent, bills, groceries, a few nights out, and whatever's left, if anything, goes to savings. Some months it's $200, some months it's nothing. There's no system, just leftovers. Maya sets up an automatic transfer to a high-yield savings account the day her direct deposit lands, before she sees the money in her checking account at all. She's not more disciplined than Tyler in the moment-to-moment sense. She's just removed the moment-to-moment decision entirely. After 5 years, Maya has built a real cushion earning actual interest without ever consciously sacrificing anything, because the sacrifice happened once, automatically, and then ran on its own. Tyler is still waiting for a month with enough left over to start. Fourth habit, every raise becomes a lifestyle upgrade instead of a wealth upgrade. This is the one almost everyone falls into at least once. You get a raise and it feels wrong not to enjoy it. New apartment, nicer car, better everything. But your net worth at year's end tells the real story, not your lifestyle. $75,000 over 2 years. His rent goes up $400 a month to match. His car payment appears. He's still only contributing enough to his 401k to hit the minimum, missing out on the rest of his employer match.
Maya gets the identical raise. She keeps her rent the same for 1 more year and bumps her 401k contribution up to capture the full employer match, then routes the rest into a Roth IRA before she gets used to having it.
She doesn't feel richer day to day, she just is, measurably, within 12 months. And part of that growth is literally free money from her employer that Tyler is leaving on the table. The test isn't, did you get a raise? It's, did your savings rate and your 401k contribution change when you did? Fifth habit, you're financially performing for an audience even when no one's actually watching that closely. Tyler picks a restaurant because it's the one his friend group would approve of, not the one he actually wants. He finances a car partly because showing up to that car in his current one felt embarrassing. None of these are big, single decisions. There are 100 small ones, all pointed the same direction, toward looking a certain way instead of building a certain thing. Maya has stopped asking, what will this look like, and started asking, what does this get me? She drives a car that's paid off and unremarkable. Nobody's impressed by it. Nobody needs to be. It's not costing her a car payment, which means it's quietly funding everything else she actually cares about. The people spending the least energy worrying what others think about their money are, statistically, the ones with the most of it. Sixth habit. You technically say you have some savings, but you couldn't say how much, and it's mixed in with your regular checking account. Tyler has money, it's just not organized. If you asked him his emergency fund balance, he'd have to check 3 different places and guess. Because it's not separated, it gets spent on things that aren't emergencies without him fully registering it as spending down his safety net. Maya's emergency fund lives in a separate FDIC-insured high-yield savings account she can name the balance of without looking. It's boring. It's untouched by anything except actual emergencies, job loss, medical bills, car repairs, because it's physically out of sight from her everyday spending. The habit isn't having money somewhere. It's knowing exactly what your floor is at all times, so a bad month doesn't quietly become a bad year. And the seventh one, the one that quietly costs people the most time, waiting until conditions feel perfect before starting to invest, save, or budget seriously. Once I get the raise, once the credit card debt's paid off, once things settle down. Tyler has been 1 good month away from starting for 3 years running. Maya started with $50 a month into a Roth IRA when $50 a month was genuinely all she had. Not because $50 does much on its own, but because starting is the habit and the amount grows later. The people who build real wealth almost never start from a comfortable position. They start from wherever they are, and the starting is the whole trick. None of these 7 habits look dramatic from the outside. Nobody's going bankrupt from rounding a number up or waiting 1 more month to start. That's exactly the problem. They're too small to notice and too consistent to ignore. If even 1 or 2 of these sounded familiar, that's not a verdict on where you'll end up. It's just the first honest look most people never take. Fix the habit, not the paycheck. The paycheck was never really the problem. I'm Sam, this is Finance with Sam, and I'll see you in the next one.